Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks bringing you an update in Bitcoin. I did record this on Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025. Later today, Donald Trump will announce his tariff policy. And so I thought it was appropriate to provide a Bitcoin update. It's appropriate anyway because Bitcoin, if you've been following my updates the last few weeks, has been trading above, spiking below, but for the most part, holding roughly above this 83,504 to 83,518 area. And when I say holding roughly, I mean we keep closing above this critical support zone on a week by week basis. And we've been doing so since we first tested it back the week of February 24th. And so as long as we continue holding above, first and foremost, the 5-year channel top that we have here that we actually closed above back the week of November 11th. That is significant support, above which I still anticipate longer term this full wave count of 122,433. And I'll get to that in a moment. There's also a rising 1/3 speed line off this critical. This is a November 22 low following that November 21 high. This coincided with the bear market in stocks, as you might recall. And so this is also coinciding with the bull market in stocks, this 2-year rally. 83,504 to 83,518 is a critical area this market needs to close above to maintain, just say, a retest of 109, 192, the actual high from January 25 over the next 3 to 5 months or sooner. In fact, there's a different breakout I'll show in a moment that would anticipate 122.43, but I'm just kind of giving a broad brushstroke as to when we might see these upper areas. Later this year is still possible. So in other words, holding above 83,504 will keep this longer term objective at 122.433 in reach. If we were to close back below 83,504 at the end of this week, I would no longer see 122.433 a long-term objective. And let's talk downside right now because that seems to be the risk as we continue testing long-term support. We're not far from it. And if we do close below 83,504, I see this could be 1 to 3 weeks. Down into the 68,964, which is the November 21 high, as well as a 3/8 downside retracement from the November 22 low against that more recent January 25 high of 73,396. So this zone, quick objective, yes, it should stall out a sell-off at least temporarily and allow the market to round back up into the 83,000 handle perhaps within, I don't know, 3 to 5 weeks, within a couple of months. And in fact, I can continue in that vein to just show that this high is very similar, 73,791 to that Fibonacci level. So I would expect this area in quick order. And this can give the market trouble on the way down. There will be plenty of buyers in this zone. Enough buying, I think, to result in a rebound back into the 83,000 handle. But I think that rebound would be one to sell. There is a rule of thumb with respect to speed line analysis, and I've used the rising 1/3 and 2/3 speed lines in my calculations for years. They work pretty well. Nothing is 100%. Nothing is 100%. But when you combine the channel top with the speed line, I like this as a perceived zone of long-term support that you can still buy Bitcoin in. But if we close below 83,504, this could be within 3 to 5 months, 49,533. That would be the objective that I would maintain as we continue into later year. If we close below 83,504, unless in the interim we happen to close back above this zone, and then that actually rejects that sell signal. But closing below 83,504 to 83,518, I see 49,533 and climbing weekly as a realistic 3 to 5 month target. Could take longer, where we could bottom out through the rest of the year and well into 26. Until then, this is a market to buy. If you're long, you can hold your long position. But if we close below 83,504 and you are long Bitcoin, my suggestion is to lighten up and you may get out entirely, because I do think the real risk is falling back into the lower 50,000 region within 3 to 5 months. Let's take a look at the upside. This is the 83,504 represented as a horizontal line. Once again, the rising speed line channel top combination. I'll get back to this chart. So this is just for reference. Holding above this area, and you can see we're just above it, does allow a test, perhaps even this week, of this convergent descending channel top and former channel bottom. It was a meaningful sell signal when we closed below this channel bottom about a month and a half ago. But when you put it in the proper context, it couldn't be considered a long-term sell signal because of the long-term support that was just below it. I could redraw this right here and just kind of show that. And so now we can retrace back up to this former channel bottom at 91,288, descending channel top at 91,855. For those of you who are 3 to 5 day, 1 to 2 week swing traders, this is a solid zone. If you're long, to take some profits, perhaps go short and fall back to 83,504. We could fill this wedge out for the next couple of weeks. But I do suspect that the tariff announcement will lead to one of two scenarios. We either A, close this week below 83,504, setting off a long-term sell signal, or B, we rally to possibly close above 91,855. And then I don't see a significant rally just yet. What I do see is this extreme descending channel top. So closing above 91,855, and this is really more for near-term traders. This is not a long-term perspective, but some of you are near-term Bitcoin traders. And if we close this week, Friday, above 91,855, I would expect within 1 to 3 weeks, 101,238, which is dropping at a gradual pace and will, by the week of May 5th, roughly a month from now, coincide perfectly with the 96,745 5/8 upside Fibonacci from the January high against that more recent March low. So this is also something you could play if you're more of a midterm Bitcoin trader, say 1 to 3 months out, holding above 83,504. We'll keep this 96,745 to 101,238 region narrowing gradually as we continue into early May, converges entirely at 96,745 in reach. Holding above 83,504, we'll keep this upper area in reach where we could fall away again. We could fill this wedge out for several months. 83,504 is by far the more important, and I would, as long as we're above 83,504, anticipate an eventual violation of this descending channel top. And if over the next several months we close above 101,238, our longer term objective at 122,433 becomes a realistic 2 to 3 month target. I think that would be realistic. I hope this was helpful. I'm going to leave it at that for this week's Bitcoin update from wickedstocks.com. Have a great day.